Hey guys, when you hear the name Pigsy or Zhu Bajie from Journey to the West, what comes to mind? A gluttonous, lazy, but somewhat adorable comic relief, right? In most pop culture and TV shows, he's always portrayed as the funny guy of the pilgrimage team. But what if I told you that's all a lie? If you actually read the original Journey to the West novel, you'll realize this classic Chinese mythology is actually a straight-up dark fantasy horror story. And that clumsy, lovable Pigsy? He's not funny at all. He's actually a psychopath who commits possession, mass murder, illegal imprisonment, and psychological manipulation. Today, we're shattering that childhood filter. We are diving deep into the original text to uncover the truly terrifying face of Pigsy. In popular belief, Marshal Tianpeng being banished to the mortal realm and accidentally reincarnating into the body of a pig is seen as a sympathetic tragedy. But in Chapter 8 of the original novel, when Pigsy introduces himself to the Bodhisattva Guanyin, he drops a line straight out of a horror movie. He says, "I was trying to possess a body, but accidentally entered the womb of a sow. When I was born, I bit the mother pig to death and slaughtered the rest of the litter." Hold on, let's pause and unpack that. Possession in Eastern mythology means forcefully taking over another physical body. Not only did he hijack this pig fetus, but the moment the mother gave birth to him, without a shred of gratitude, he instantly turned around and brutally murdered his own birth mother and all his siblings. This wasn't some pitiful accident. This was devastating, destructive vengeance. He announced his arrival to the world with a cold-blooded family massacre. And the craziest part? He proudly flaunts this gruesome origin story to the Bodhisattva like it's a shiny resume. If his birth was just brutal instinct, his next moves prove he is an absolute predator. He tells the Bodhisattva that he lived in Fuling Mountain and was married to a demon named Sister Ruan for a year. Now, pay attention. Whatever kind of spirit Sister Ruan was, she had her own established cave domain. She was an independent, successful demon in her own right. But what happened? In just one short year, Sister Ruan was completely drained and tortured to death by Pigsy. Then Pigsy naturally took over all her property and assets, living day to day by eating human flesh. Guys, he went from a naked, savage wild boar to a wealthy mountain lord in no time. Pigsy is basically the ultimate parasite of the mythological world. He bleeds his host dry and then claims their empire as his own. If you think that was just typical demon-on-demon violence, let's look at what he did to a human. The story of Gao Village in the original book plays out like a suffocating psychological thriller. How did Squire Gao describe his youngest daughter, Miss Gao, who was kidnapped by Pigsy? He said Pigsy locked her in the back building, quote, "We haven't seen her for half a year, and we don't even know if she is dead or alive." Picture this. A massive, foul-smelling, terrifying wild boar monster with giant tusks uses dark magic to imprison a young girl in a pitch-black, abandoned house for 3 whole years. This is literally the plot of a Saw movie or an episode of Criminal Minds. When son Wukong, the Monkey King, finally kicks down the door and finds Miss Gao, even he is shocked. The book describes her as emaciated, pale, completely drained of life, and weak to her bones. For 3 years, Pigsy didn't treat her like a human being. She was nothing but a tool to vent his twisted desires. Eventually, this wild boar is forced to join the pilgrimage team. But did he repent? Not at all. In this team, the Monkey King acted like the strict disciplinarian. He wouldn't let Pigsy eat humans, and he wouldn't let him slack off. So, Pigsy set his venomous sights on Wukong. In the classic White Bone Demon arc, Wukong instantly sees through a demon disguised as a peasant woman and strikes her dead. The monk, Tang Sanzang, was actually starting to believe Wukong. But right then, Pigsy shows off his masterclass in gaslighting. He whispers into the monk's ear, stoking the fire. "Master, that woman was just a normal peasant. The monkey is just terrified you'll chant the headache spell, so he's using illusions to trick you." Guys, this is purely diabolical. Pigsy was the former commander of the Heavenly River. You think he couldn't smell a demon? He absolutely knew she was a monster. But he intentionally weaponized the monk's naive compassion to silence Wukong. This kind of manipulative backstabbing is way more sinister than a physical attack. To the weak, he's a ruthless demon. To the strong, he plays the innocent, dumb pig. His cruelty isn't just calculated. it's also about raw, violent outbursts. In the leopard demon arc, the monsters use a fake human head to trick the team into thinking their master was eaten. When Pigsy later finds out the truth, what does he do? He goes back, digs up the fake master's grave, pulls out the innocent human head, and smashes it into a bloody pulp. Why? Simply because crying over the fake head made him look foolish. This innocent scapegoat technically helps save the real master's life, but in Pigsy's eyes, if you annoy him, even your corpse will be mutilated just to vent his anger. Eventually, the team reaches the end of their journey, and this is where the satirical genius of Journey to the West peaks. The monk and the Monkey King both achieve Buddhahood, but Pigsy? He's only given the title of Cleanser of the Altars. Pigsy immediately protests, and guess how the Buddha replies? The Buddha basically says, it's a lucrative position. Think about it. All the leftover food and scraps offered by believers all over the world are yours to eat. This is the ultimate level of mockery. From murdering his mother and siblings at birth, to cannibalizing, pillaging, and scheming along the way, Pigsy's true nature never changed. The Buddha saw right through him. No matter how goofy you act on the outside, deep down, you are still that greedy, vicious monster. So, just go eat the scraps. Even after reaching the Western paradise, the Buddha still treats him like nothing more than a pig. So, the next time you see that funny, lovable Pigsy on TV, picture him with his mouth covered in blood from the original novel. Do you still think he's cute? If you enjoyed this deep dive into the dark lore of Journey to the West, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments, which mythological character's dark history should I expose next? I'll see you in the next video. Peace.